Hello, Woodside families. I hope that everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend and found a little time to recharge and reconnect and have a little fun. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Google Slide structure that we introduced the end of April. I'm going to go through how to navigate the teacher pages, and we're going to go through all of the content that's embedded in the Google Slides. I hope that you find this useful. So here behind me you see the main page of the Peekskill City School District, and you go to select a school, and the blue banner has the last header, which is teacher pages. Here it'll take you to the teacher page directory and you will select a teacher. For the purposes of this presentation, I've chosen a first grade teacher, Miss Eliza. And I think I spoke to you about at our last presentation together, our last time together, that we have gone ahead and we have unified all 5 markers for all of the teachers at Woodside, whether they're a kindergarten teacher or a first grade teacher. You'll notice that all 5 markers on the left-hand side of the page are exactly the same. So this is the tab that says Daily Assignments. And again, for your convenience, you'll notice that every single time you open up this tab, you'll see an identical blurb letting you know how to navigate the page in both English and Spanish. And right underneath is the actual link to open the Google Slides. Okay, so here is the first page of the universal page of our Google Slide presentation. And you'll notice now that the very first slide goes into word work. We have divided the word work into 3 categories. The first one is in the race, the second one is moving ahead, and the third one is crossing the finish line. The reason why it's been divided in this way is because the first category are words that your child should be reviewing on a regular basis. They're high frequency sight words, okay? And those are words that we expect your child to know and to have mastered already. The second category are a category of words that the children would have been immersed in practicing and utilizing on their instructional level. Okay, and you've heard me talk a little bit about that in the past in terms of the your child's actual F and P level, which stands for Fontes and Pinnell reading level. And actually the focus of my presentation next week will be all about reading levels and the level of high frequency sight words that your child should know and have in order to be a fluent reader at a given level. Okay? And then the last category is crossing the finish line. And those are words that are above, slightly above where their actual instructional level should be. And so we're providing you with those words so that if you're able to do so, you can do fun sight word games with your child, you can do practice, you can do drill, and so that way they're staying on par with where they need to be in order to be fluent readers. So what I wanted to, actually let me go back. What I wanted to point out here is that if you'll notice at the very bottom of this slide, every single week when the children go in, there will be the opportunity for them to click on this link. And this link at the bottom actually gives them access to various word lists. This is very important because each one of these categories has a level of text complexity that is harder, right, than the last. If you click on one of the word lists, it'll look something like this, and it'll provide you with the actual level of words that your child needs in order to correlate with their actual instructional level where they're reading right now. Okay? And like I said, well, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about this next week. So you'll notice that each of these slides has a cute little timer at the bottom. And what we've done is we've provided you with a 3-minute timer so that, again, the purpose of this slide is for children to build fluency. It's not to frustrate them. It's to just to encourage them to practice their sight words, because these are words that they should know and recognize with a high level of automaticity. And again, if they're struggling over these words, and obviously that indicates that they need to practice, right? So we've given the 3-minute timer for them to be able to challenge themselves. And so again, fluidly read across, and then the timer indicates for them, gives them a marker, a nice marker for them to understand whether or not they should move to the next list or if they should be continuing to practice this list. Okay. So here is the reading slide, and you'll notice that we're moving into the unit that is all about character traits. This is a wonderful unit where we're encouraging kids through a choice box to talk about different stems as it pertains to this particular unit of study. So they'll be asked to describe their characters. They'll be asked to engage in discussion with you about what happened next, what they learned about their character that surprised them. We're asking kiddos to utilize the choice board and to just engage in more dialogue with you about what they're reading. And this addresses specifically the listening and the speaking standards for reading. We hope that you'll continue to take advantage of the hundreds of books that are available to your kiddos through the RAS Kids reading application. Within the last couple of weeks during our Google Hangouts, some of the parents have expressed their delight in being able to navigate through the level up reading rooms, and we've asked our teachers to please release the caps on the levels of the books so the kids can go several levels above their actual instructional reading level so that they can listen to books and engage with perhaps genres that they really are fascinated with. Perhaps you have an avid nonfiction reader at home, and so they'll be able to peruse books and listen to books much higher than their actual instructional level. If you're having any difficulty at all navigating RAS Kids, or you're finding that you don't have access to the Level Up Reading Room, please contact your teacher immediately, or certainly contact me. I have access to everyone's username and passwords, and I'm happy to assist you in any way I can. Okay? All right. So the next slide that you'll see with Fidelity is the writing slide. As many of you know, we follow the teachers' reading and writing project, the Lucy Calkins Teachers Reading Writing Project, and each one of our kiddos does get immersed in 4 units of study. And so the last unit of study for first grade is narrative writing, and the last unit of study for kindergarten is actually persuasive writing. So this is very important because we really want our kids to be avid writers, right? And so you'll see that there are checklists embedded in these little boxes. These boxes are actually hyperlinked for kids, to encourage kids to go back and to criticize their own writing and to make sure that they can read it, that they can share it, and that their writing makes sense, right? So please work alongside with your child to make sure that they're utilizing their rubrics and their checklists again, so that they're going through a process where they are, their own best critic, and they're looking at their writing with a critical lens. Okay. So you'll notice that in each day there is a Fundations exercise, and you'll notice these little sound boxes that are embedded in the explain and the your turn box. You'll notice that those little sound boxes are the voices of our reading teachers, and so they are responsible for the work that you see embedded here. Fundations is a program where we practice sounds, letter recognition and letter sounds, as well as the foundational grammatics of the English language, like diagraphs, blends, and glued sounds. And so this is a very important slide. You'll notice that there are YouTube videos that are embedded, as well as, like I said, the voiceover, so that the kiddos know exactly what the expectation is for them to be able to practice these sounds in their letters, so that they understand the basic rules, right, of being able to navigate complex words. Okay, so you'll notice also this slide, and this is mostly for our SSL students, those students that are navigating Spanish as a second language. This is our Estrellitas program. So in this instance, now that the slide is embedded for all of our kiddos, so whether or not the kiddos are dual language or not, if you want your child to practice Spanish, the basic foundational grammatic skills of Spanish, well, here you are. You'll see that there are various videos here taking them through el abecedario in Spanish, right? The basic sounds. And you'll see that this will continue to increase in complexity every week. Okay. You'll also notice this cute little slide that we added, and there'll be either links at the bottom, or there'll be voice boxes with my voice. I thought that this was a great little add-on where kiddos can have access to practicing specific Spanish stems, like buenos días y gusto en conocerle. And so once again, whether or not you're in the dual language program or not, this slide is available to you for you to practice your Spanish skills. This is our ENL slide, and you'll notice I've only, for the purposes of this presentation, I've only included one of the ENL slides, but there'll always be 2 slides embedded in the presentation, on the daily presentation. And you'll notice also that this particular slide, it's translated. So it's both in English and in Spanish directly underneath each activity. So you'll notice here it says activity 1, and then immediately underneath actividad número 1. All of the pictures, the graphics, it may look small at first glance, but all of the graphics are hyperlinked. So when you click on them, they do open and they do expand to the level of the screen. And when it's on present mode, it's certainly much bigger and much more robust, and it's easy for the kids to see. So the ENL slides are for those students, obviously English as a second language, those students that are in the process of mastering English. And so these slides also will be embedded. And for those parents who perhaps want their child to do a little bit of extra work, this work addresses all 4 domains of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and it's certainly wonderful for extra help if you'd like them to engage in this work as well. So we've included a brain break, and this is important for parents to hear. You'll notice that these particular hyperlinks that are embedded in these images are Go Noodle, Learning Station, the yoga station. And so what you'll notice is that the kids really love to do these things. It takes them through different breathing exercises, different dance exercises. And so each week there'll be something different for them to just take a brain break. It's put in directly after the word work, but they can certainly do their brain break whenever they choose to do it. So here we have our science slide in first grade right now. This was actually last week's. This week they're doing the solar system. So this particular content area, I happen to love the way this slide is organized because it's in both English and in Spanish. The graphics are wonderful, and it's just great that the kids are going to be able to be exposed to the units of study that they would have had through Science 21, our science curriculum. And again, the material is quite engaging, and there's always links and vocabulary for them to practice. So here you'll see our social studies slide also in both English and Spanish, and it does follow along with the PNW BOCES curriculum that we utilize when we're in school. And there is a vocabulary component, there are hyperlinks for videos. And what I love most about our social studies curriculum is that we've kind of tweaked it so that the focus of it is really discussion, so that the kiddos are having conversations with you, they're being prompted to share their ideas, right, and to engage in dialogue. And that really is a higher level skill, asking young children to just be able to explain their ideas, to connect their thinking, right, and to listen to another person's ideas and provide, a robust dialogue, right? So we're really proud of the work that we've been able to do during this very unusual time. So we hope that you continue to give us feedback so that you can let us know how we can continue to tweak the curriculum to best serve you. Okay, so you'll notice also that every single day of the week there is a different special embedded. So Fridays is library with Mrs. Norman. So she'll have all these fun, different types of activities for you. Last week she did a fun activity for Cinco de Mayo. This is this week's. And this is all centered around the hula hoop queen. She'll have, again, these graphics are hyperlinked, so she'll have anything from, getting to know the author, to vocabulary, to fun crafts that are connected to the read-alouds. So be on the lookout for that, and the special is always at the end of the presentation. I just want to take a moment to point out that, as a parent, again, and now you are the primary teacher. You've always been the #1 teacher, but now you are the primary teacher delivering the content, because obviously it's kindergarten and first grade, and they do need a lot of your support in order to be able to navigate the curriculum. That you can take a look at the PowerPoint presentation, and then you can organize the day as best as it suits you. Okay, so if you find that your kiddo really likes, library on Fridays, maybe that's the way you start the day. You know, maybe the focus is word work at the very beginning of the day, and you're just going to do a little bit of word work, a little bit of reading, and you're going to leave the rest, you know, for a different part of the day. And that's okay to do that. Please remember that even all throughout the summer, these links will be available to you, right? And they're not going to disappear from the teacher's website. And you can always download them. You can save them on your computer. Remember that even on your phone, Google, this is why we chose Google Slides. Even on your phone, an Android or an iPhone, you can navigate Google Slides on your phone devices, and the links work. So that's really, it's comforting to know, because even on the go, you can make sure that your child is engaging with the instruction. Okay? So here is PE. Coach Dwyer and Coach Corden will always have a fun PE challenge for you. And you'll notice that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are the days that PE is embedded in the presentation. And Art with Mrs. Hoagland, her day is Monday, and she actually sent me an email today, and she was so excited to see that the kiddos are noticing that she is embedded in the PowerPoint presentations, because I don't think many kiddos were going actually to her teacher page to get her assignments. And now she's getting all this wonderful art. I know that Milo and Olivia sent her pictures of their wonderful art projects, so thank you for doing that. And you know, it's just a great way to continue to keep our kids engaged by making sure that we're embedding a special into the PowerPoint presentations daily. Okay, and lastly, but certainly not least, music with Mrs. Moffat, and her day is Wednesday. So again, you'll notice that her special is on Wednesday, and she always has something fun for you to stay abreast with learning your T's and your Ta's. So please also know that when you navigate to their individual teacher pages, so Coach Dwyer and Coach Corden, their teacher page in the directory will be under physical education and then their names. The art teacher will be under art. And then her name. So it'll be Art with Miss Hoagland under the letter A in the directory. So please take a look, navigate over to their teacher pages, and you'll see that throughout the week there are additional activities to keep your child engaged. So if your child loves art, she'll have something for them all week long. If your child loves PE and loves to be active, again, the coaches will have something for them all week long. Okay? And so I'm getting to the end of my presentation. This particular week, I have started to dedicate specific weeks to topics. So last week, it was all about Mother's Day, and we did some fun crafts with the kiddos. And that was lots and lots of fun. And so this week, it's going to be fun and zany science. And I'm doing a mad science experiment. As you can see, I'm in my laboratory here, and I did a sparkly, fun, explosive volcano this morning. And each day there will be something fun for them to do. And my hope is that on Friday, during our super fun virtual social hour with the kiddos, that I'll have some mad, zany, fun kiddo scientists that will decide to do a show and tell science experiment. That's what I'm hoping for. If not, I have some fun experiments up my sleeve. So again, I didn't put a slide for the parent hangout, but I just again want to remind you that every single Thursday I do both an English and a Spanish session for our parents. I do a Google Hangout just to connect with you, to hear concerns. Please reach out to me. If you can't make it to the Google Hangout, send me an email. Many of you have my personal cell phone number. Please call me. Give me some feedback about the Google Slides. Let me know how it's going, how it's working. You can direct message me on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter. I do tweet all of the work that we're doing on Twitter for your benefit, so that you can easily keep on top of it. I do post a lot of it also on Facebook. And let us know. Reach out to us. Let us know how we can continue to better serve you. Also, please have the kiddos watch the YouTube channel and subscribe to it. I'm going to try to continue to do fun things. And if there's things that you would like to see me do, please let me know. I'm happy to hear your voice, and I'm happy for the feedback. So once again, next week I will be focusing more so on reading and talking to you a little bit about what the end of year instructional reading levels should look like, and how you can do some fun creative exercises with sight words to keep your kids sharp and keep them engaged in reading, and we'll continue the dialogue together. So again, I look forward to hearing from you. I hope to see you at our Google Hangout on Thursday, and I certainly hope to see more and more kiddos at our social hour on Friday. Okay, so until we see each other again, sparkle on, friends.